Hi YouTube. Well, yeah, I'm still with you. Don't worry about it. But I also need to be with my wife. I hope you can understand that. I also have a marriage to tend to. And, you know, marriage always needs to be addressed and paid attention to. But of course I'm paying attention to what's going on down there. And, yeah. We have millions of dead fish washing up at the East Coast now, and we pretty much know why that is. So now it's just a question of time when we see whales and sharks and dolphins beached too, dead. I think it's terrible. It absolutely is. And we absolutely know who's guilty. And it should be possible to make a citizen arrest of all of them, because we know who's guilty. We all know the names of them. One of them is sitting in the White House. He even turned down 39 countries' offer to come and help with this so-called oil spill. But of course, they were turned down because they had other means for what they are doing. So, this is me and my wife, as you see there. I love her very much. I give her a lot of time. I have now approximately 230 videos about this subject, Gulf oil spill. That is a considerable amount. And we all know the basics now about what took place. And a lot of weird stuff is going on the seafloor right now. I don't really know what's going on. I log in on it once in a while, but I don't really care so much to look into it, what's going on down there, because it's out of my hands and I can't dive down there and see it for myself. But I'm positive that there is some stuff going on which we would not like to know about. And that about the dead fish and crocodiles and dolphins and other marine life in Bolivia dead. That's old news, prophecia. That's over a week old. I got that from a friend from down there, that was actually happening. And there was a freak cold front that flash freezed and it killed off a lot of animals. But I don't think it relates to Revelation 8. So let's be clear on that. It is not a star fallen from the sky yet. So, I have been doing a little research on the American continent and how it's comprised. And to say the least, it's not so fortunate that piece of land America is built up of, because America is constantly under change, and it's due to three forces that is doing it. It's actually four. It's also weather. But let's begin. Here you have a map of all the tectonic plates, and this plate, the Pacific plate, is moving approximately 1 feet a year north. Not to the North Pole, but it's moving straight up. And it's giving, of course, a lot of pressure here on the San Andreas fault line. So, and we have east from the New Madrid line, we have the Caribbean plate, which they are calling it, but it is actually the North Atlantic plate, sitting up here. And this piece of plate is locked into the North Cap. It cannot move, only slightly, but it's being moved skewed, means it's kind of being moved that way up, squeezed up. But this piece west of the New Madrid line is moving 1 inch west every year. And if you take a ruler and lay that out. That is a considerable amount of movement anyway, but even more out here. So over in this region here, we have some of the youngest mountains on planet Earth. And if you look here on this one, you can see where the pressure is being built, and especially the Cascade Range, where the mountains is very young. But I've been, as I said, doing some research on the crustal properties of North America. There is actually no granite except in Nevada. And funny enough, where the elite has positioned themselves in Colorado, that is the most stable piece of land in the entire America. It's not subject to much changes. So that might be the reason why they are positioning themselves there. And right above this little N, we have the Yellowstone Park. We know from Carrie Cassidy and what she told about a BP insider that they are letting this one down in the Mexican Gulf blow in order to provoke the Yellowstone Park to explode. Well, that doesn't make sense to that they want to have Colorado as a headquarters for the New World Order in America, because that will be buried in ashes. So that's a little tricky, but I can tell you one thing. By all my examines of what is going on in America, that is, America is being squeezed and squished and literally pulverized as we speak. And that has been going on for a very, very long time. And it's a process which is not stopping. It's a natural process of tectonic plate movements. So what I'm thinking here, and what makes sense to me, that when they drill these two holes, one of them they say is capped, but well, B is not capped. That one is flowing oil out, and it's also flowing out volcanic material. And we know the Gulf Stream is dead. There's absolutely no rotation in it except in itself, and it looks like it's exploding. I'll show you that. The Corexit is going out into the Atlantic Ocean right now, and not even the seagulls want to eat those dead fishes on the beaches in New Jersey. Of course not. They know they are toxic, or else they will eat them. They know. So that's already a sign of pollution of a magnitude. And as I also earlier stated in my videos, that it will take approximately 74 days for the Gulf Stream to reach Norway before it returns into the Atlantic down south and along the North European coastlines. And it kind of makes me real angry. Well, I can't think about myself, but I'm thinking about my children, which is living in Denmark, and the waters surrounding them. They have 4,000 miles of coastline, and the water exchange within the Baltic Sea is over 200 years. So whatever pollution goes in there from this man-made genocide is going to stay in there for a very long time, and it's going to, kill off all the marine life in there too, eventually. Because this mixture of Corexit and oil makes it extremely toxic. And there's also now a symptom called blue flu, where people have respiratory illnesses. And it's going to be much worse than that in the long run. Those people who's already been exposed to this stuff for all this time which this has been going on, they are basically dead. They just don't know it yet. I think it's terrible. I kind of want revenge, but I know that won't help. They're already ready for that. They know how to fight upheaval, because they are very experienced in warfare, because that's what it's all about for them. That is to kill and kill some more. And now they're killing our oceans. And next year, because of the Gulf Stream is dead, it will also mean that the crops of 2011 will fail because of climate change. And they're probably going to go in and try and lie to you and tell us that it is due to global warming, which we know is bollocks. I can tell you this, and this is a fact, if you haven't heard it before. The oceans of our planet are emitting more CO2 to the atmosphere annually than mankind have done in all their existence on planet Earth combined. So you need to really protest the carbon tax, because it's a lie and a fraud, and you need to do whatever it takes to stop that, no matter what it takes, because this is just a robbery, another robbery from the so-called elite. You have this fact now, that the oceans are emitting more CO2 to the atmosphere annually than man has done ever combined. So you know that is a fraud already. And actually, if you go backtrack research from the ice core samples, it also proves that planet Earth had at times a much higher CO2 level in the atmosphere than it has now. And funny enough, we still got here, didn't we? Earth didn't die because of that, did it? No. So they're simply just milking all your money. That is what it's all about. Taking all your money away from you. Making the whole world into some, I don't know, fascist, communist regime where everybody is equal except the elite. We don't have nothing, basically. So, to go back from that subject about the CO2 and go to the Macondo well 252, by examining what is in the crust and how it's layered, you can basically compare the crust of United States as a piece of plywood which you use for roofing here in America. It is basically a piece of worthless piece of wood. It is not strong, it's very brittle, and when it breaks out in several pieces. It is not stable. And the reason why it's not stable is because it's being crushed and squeezed at all times. And right now, in this area here, which Noah went in and said to them, you should not drill there. It is extremely hazardous. There are many risks by doing that. And they knew what they were talking about, because in 2005 they did a complete survey of the Mexican Gulf. Plus, they also have a survey of the subterranean of United States. So they know what's down there. And Earlytude also talks about there is a snake twisting and turning underneath in America. And that's true. And right now, by this drill, they are emptying out that level of oil and other material which is stabilizing the actual land of America underneath, carrying it